Okay, we're back with Disney 100 Advent Calendar Storybook Collection. Let's have a look inside. Okay, guys, we're looking for book number 17. When you see it, let me know. Oh, right, there it is. Well done. You're very quick at this now. What book have we got today? Disney Donald Duck's Christmas Tree. It's Christmas Eve, and Donald Duck and Pluto have found the perfect tree in the forest. But when they accidentally take home two mischievous chipmunks, Chip and Dale, will there be trouble? It was the night before Christmas, and Donald Duck was getting ready for the big day. The stockings were hung by the chimney, and he had wrapped all the presents for his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Donald had just finished icing a hot batch of gingerbread cookies when he remembered something. He still needed to get a real Christmas tree. Donald put on his coat, cap, and mittens, then picked up his shiny axe. He wanted to cut down the best Christmas tree for his nephews. "Come along, Pluto," he called. "We're going to the forest to find our Christmas tree." Together they set off into the snowy forest. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, two chipmunks called Chip and Dale lived in a sturdy fir tree. They were also getting ready for Christmas. The chipmunks were busy decorating a tiny sapling near their home. Suddenly, they heard a noise. Chip and Dale raced back to their tree. Pluto bounded through the forest and began sniffing around their tree. When Donald had caught up with Pluto, he circled the tree and said, "That is just the tree for us." He got out his axe and began chopping. Chop, chop, chop. Poor Chip and Dale were scared and stayed hidden in the treetop. Once the tree had come down, Donald and Pluto headed home, with Donald dragging the fir tree behind him. Up in the branches, the chipmunks sat quietly enjoying the ride. Once they got home, Donald raced to the cupboard to get all the decorations. From their hiding place, Chip and Dale looked on curiously. The two chipmunks watched as Donald looped long strings of colorful bulbs over the branches of the tree. Then Donald began hanging brightly colored baubles. Pluto helped him where he could. After a while, Donald and Pluto stood back and admired their work. "Doesn't that look good?" Donald asked, and Pluto wagged his tail in agreement. Donald went to get the presents to put under the tree. As Donald left the room, Pluto admired the Christmas tree. He loved looking at all the ornaments and lights. Meanwhile, up in the tree, Chip and Dale began dancing on the branches and laughing until their little sides shook at their warped reflections in the baubles. Pluto noticed the chipmunks in the tree and growled disapprovingly at them, but Chip and Dale didn't care and threw baubles at Pluto. Pluto managed to catch them in his teeth and paws. Just then Donald came back. "Pluto!" he cried. "Bad dog!" He thought Pluto had been snatching ornaments from the tree. Pluto barked at the tree, but the chipmunks had disappeared. Donald said to Pluto, "Now, be good while I bring in the rest of the presents." But as soon as Donald left the room again, Chip and Dale appeared. They danced and played with the lights. Suddenly, plonk! Chip's head went through a bauble. Dale laughed so hard as Chip danced around with a big round golden head. But Pluto didn't think it was funny. They were going to spoil Donald's Christmas tree. He growled at the chipmunks, but they wouldn't stop messing around. Pluto leant back, ready to jump. Pluto! Donald cried as he looked round the doorframe. What's the matter with you? Do you want to ruin the tree? Pluto spun round to look at the tree, but the chipmunks were out of sight. Poor Pluto couldn't explain. Donald was about to get really cross when, crash! A bauble smashed on the floor. What's this? Cried Donald. He peered through the branches and spotted Chip and Dale. Donald realized it was the chipmunks who had been making mischief. I'm sorry I blamed you, Pluto, he said. Donald was going to put Chip and Dale outside in the snow when he remembered it was Christmas Eve. He decided to let them stay. So Pluto made friends with Chip and Dale, and the chipmunks apologized. When Huey, Dewey, and Louie came over, they all agreed that this was by far the happiest Christmas Eve they could remember. Now, if you like that story, why don't you tap the like button? And why not subscribe so you can hear another story from this collection? Hit the notification bell so that you will know when we upload the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Buzz for now.